We wanted to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, Azure Standard. Azure Standard is a company based out of Oregon. They deliver clean, high-quality food and household products straight to drop locations all across the country. It's kind of like ordering from a local co-op, except they bring the food directly to you. There are over 3,000 drop sites across the US, and you can go to their website, enter your zip code, and find the drop location closest to you. Many of you know that we live in southern Indiana, and our closest grocery store is about 20 minutes away, and that's a big box chain. If we want to shop at a health food store or a co-op, we're looking at a 40-minute drive or more. And that's why Azure Standard has been such a blessing to our family. We're able to get clean, wholesome ingredients that we simply can't find locally, and we only have to drive to our drop site once a month. When the Azure truck arrives, everyone at the drop site helps to unload, which makes things go quickly and smoothly. The whole process takes about 30 to 40 minutes, and we really enjoy it. The kids even get to join in on the fun. There's such a strong sense of community, and we've met so many like-minded people who care about food and intentional living. If you're thinking about trying Azure for the first time, we'll include our affiliate link in the description box below. It doesn't cost you anything extra to use our link, but it does help support our homestead, and we appreciate that so much. And as a little bonus, you can use the code NEW15, that's NEW15, to get 15% off your first order of $100 or more. Just make sure that you use that code on your very first order because it won't work after that. Thanks so much for watching, and if you have questions about how Azure works or what we like to order, you can drop them in the comments below. And if you're a current Azure Standard customer, we would love to know what your favorite repeat item is to order from them. And don't forget at the end to like, subscribe, and then to check our other videos to see what we have been up to. Hi, and welcome back to the Hoosier Homestead. This is Sarah, and I have Alex behind the camera today. We are going to be doing our July 2025 Azure Standard haul. I brought all of this home earlier, and so I have it all unboxed, and I'm ready to show you some of the things that we ordered. So we will do the refrigerated and the frozen items first, and then we will put them away, and then we will come back and do the rest of our things that we bought this month. So you guys know we absolutely love our raw cheese. Locally, I cannot get this. I can get local raw milk, but cheese making is just not something that I ventured down yet into learning how to do. So normally I buy the, what is it? I think it's Monterey Jack from Sierra Nevada. But this month, one of my friends actually added this to her order, and I was like, you know what? That sounds really good. So we're going to do some raw jalapeno jack cheese. I just got the little 8-ounce package of it this month because it is something we are trialing. And so I always like to get a smaller quantity when it's something that we're trying out. And if we really like it, then I might buy a box of it, or I might buy a big 5-pound block. This is great in the summertime when it's super hot. You know, we can come inside and have a snack of cheese and crackers, maybe some meat, some fruit. It just makes for a super easy, light snack or dinner item. So that's one of our things we're trying. And then we love our Stacy's organic tortillas. They offer these in 2 different sizes. And then this month we're trying something new with them. So I have the whole wheat flour tortillas. The ingredients are organic whole wheat and white flour, water, organic sunflower oil, baking powder, salt, and citric acid. So if you've seen my previous videos, you might have seen that I got the white tortillas, but I'm always looking at switching to whole grain products where I can because they're just more nutritious for our family. And so if I'm going to be eating a tortilla, I would prefer for it to be a whole grain or whole wheat tortilla because we love buying in bulk. you get a discount. So we can use these for wraps. We can use them for soft tacos or really just any other thing that you would want to use a tortilla for. So normally I have a lot of frozen fruit and vegetables when I do an Azure order, but as you might notice, I don't have that this month. And one of the reasons is because it is summer here on the homestead. And so that means we are getting lots of local produce. So whether that's fruits or vegetables from our own garden, since I can get that from either our garden or our Amish neighbors at bulk pricing, I'm not actually ordering that from Azure Standard right now. But I love that if you don't have the capability of doing that, that's something where you can order from Azure Standard year round. So I'm going to put up my cheese and my tortillas, and then I will be back in a second for the rest of our items. Okay, we are back. And so I thought the next little set of items we could do is household products. So I only have three of them this month, but some of them are my absolute favorites. So Azure has their own line. I've talked about this before, Azure Clean. They have things like dish soap, Castile soap, laundry soap, dishwasher detergent, all kinds of things with clean ingredients for you and your family. They have lots of unscented, fragrance free items. So I have, this is 32 ounces if you're just looking for size comparison of their dish soap. And we ordered one last month and we've used about half of it so far. So I think we're doing pretty good. It seems to last a while. I'm not somebody, I don't like using Dawn unless I like absolutely have to. And I personally like using Castile soap and making my own dish soap. However, Alex will tell you he doesn't like that it doesn't sud up as much on our little sponge that we use as this Azure Standard one does. And so we order that for him, and that is okay. Um, so Kirk's, I have some Castile bar soap for in the shower, and then some hand soap. So I know you can buy like Kirk's Castile soap at your local like Walmart grocery store. However, our local store does not have the unscented kind. I can only get the fresh scent. And so I love that I can get this in a 3-pack from Azure for a really good price. And I just add it. I've been adding it to every single order. I am super excited though. I was looking at their sales flyer that we'll talk about a little bit later. And Azure is launching their own Castile bar soap. It says that you'll be able to purchase it next month, August 2025. And they have like an array of scented and they even have an unscented one. And I think it's 2 bars per box. So I'm really curious to see what the price on that is, but also try some out. We are very sensitive to smells and scents here. So anytime I can find a good unscented product, I snatch that up. So this one though is just hand soap for the sink. This is another one like when we're coming inside from doing, homestead chores, especially on like it's rained all day. The chicken coop was so muddy. We're out there collecting eggs and taking care of all the animals. A lot of times we just want to come in and use a good hand soap. And so this is lemon eucalyptus. This is another one that Alex would prefer, which is totally fine, to have something store bought. And so, just as a compromise, I want to get a good quality, clean ingredient that, if our toddler needs to wash his hands, I'm not worried about the ingredients in that. So yeah, we have some hand soap. And so that is all that I ordered this month from like their household items. But if you're looking at their website, definitely check out. We love their bamboo toilet paper. You can get bamboo paper towels. I saw it looks like they're launching like some shampoo bars in the next couple of months. So I think that Azure is really looking to expand that offering that they have within their whole Azure Clean line. And so if they don't have something that you're looking for, I would just keep checking back and you might be surprised. In a couple months, it might be something that they're offering. So the next set of items that we're going to go to is our grocery items. 1 pound of their Thompson's raisins. So Azure has a couple of different raisin options that you can choose from depending on the type of grape that raisin came from. And so these are truly just for fresh eating for our toddler and our baby. Just a quick snack that I can give to them straight out of the package. If you're someone who likes making cinnamon raisin bread or rolls or things like that, these would be great to include in those. And then,
I don't like raisins.
oh,
It was just a
okay,
blooper. It's okay.
okay.
Sorry.
So then I have dried cranberries, and this is something that I'm super excited about with Azure. These dried cranberries are sweetened with apple juice. So if you go to pick up dried cranberries at the store, for example, if you go to Walmart or like our local JC, which is like Kroger, they have a ton of sugar in them. Now, you might be able to find like a cleaner or an organic option that's sweetened with cane sugar, but if I'm looking to give a fruit, like a dried fruit to my kiddos, it's already sweet because it's fruit. And so I don't need to be adding sugar on top of that. And so that's why I love that these are sweetened with apple juice because I feel like it's just a little bit of a healthier option to not include that added sugar. And this is their 1 pound package of their dried cranberries. And then we have some quick oats. I love this company. So I've bought rolled oats from them before. They have a couple of different options for quick oats. These are their sprouted quick oats. If you are someone who is conscious about gluten, maybe you have a gluten intolerance, not celiac, but just a gluten intolerance, these are gluten free. And so I really like to make these in the morning. Danny, our 2-year-old, he will ask for eat eel, which means oatmeal. It's the sweetest thing in the world. And then he asked me to put punny or honey in it. So he'll say eat eel with punny. And I just absolutely love it. But sprouted oats have been soaked. And so by sprouting them overnight, it basically breaks down that barrier on the oat. And so it makes it easier for your body to digest and to absorb the nutrients in that oatmeal. So we have, this is 1 pound and 8 ounces or 24 ounces of their sprouted oats. We have some Redmond sea salt. So I kind of talked about how it's gardening season. Basically, this time of year, we are doing a ton of canning and fermentation projects and just bringing in all kinds of things from the garden. And so, because of that, I need a good quality salt and I need a lot of it. So, I bought this size package, but you can buy larger sizes. That's what's great about Azure is, that capability to buy in bulk if you want, but you do not have to if you don't need something that large. And so this, you can use it for canning. You can use it for fermenting. We also have a jar back on our counter that, for eating supper or cooking a meal and you're going to sprinkle salt on something, that's my salt that I do that with. And it's also just the salt that I cook with on a day-to-day basis. So it is mined right here in the United States in Utah. And so it's just a great option for a good quality salt. And to kind of go along with that, we have some beef sticks. So this is the Thousand Hills beef stick. And we are trying these for the very first time. You can buy a big box of these. But like I've talked about before, that makes me a little nervous, just as someone who's conscious of prices, not wanting to waste food. I always would rather buy a smaller quantity first and see if we like it. So here is what the back of the beef stick looks like. And It says no preservatives, no nitrites, no nitrates, no soy, and no MSG. So we do buy chomps, and we buy the Archer brand beef sticks. I wouldn't say like they're my favorite tasting things in the world, but when you need a quick protein snack, they're great to just grab and go. And so we want to see if we like the taste and the price point on these before we buy more in the future. And talking about bulk buying again, I have some cinnamon next. So this is, I don't know if I'm saying it right. I pronounce it Ceylon cinnamon, but this is their 1 pound package. It used to come in a mylar bag, a silver mylar bag. Looks like now it's coming in a plastic bag, which that's totally fine. I will repackage this in a glass mason jar and I will vacuum seal the lid and put some oxygen absorbers in it just to make sure it stays good. My mom actually asked me to order her some, and she was going to order a smaller package. Well, I said, hey, it's way cheaper if we order the 1 pound package. And I've talked about this previously. I will just split this package with my mom. We'll each get a half pound. And by doing that, we have then each saved money. So this is just, it's supposed to be a healthier option. It has more benefits in terms of like supporting your metabolism, but it also just tastes great if you're making things like cinnamon rolls, cinnamon bread, muffins, anything that you would normally put cinnamon in. You're not going to notice a difference if you put this versus just like regular store bought cinnamon in it. So we've already dug into these. Alex likes to say we should be getting a discount. It is late July, and we have our late July chips. So we've talked about trying to stay away from seed oils before here on our channel. I know that these contain sunflower and safflower oils. It's one of those things where it's like, what is good, what is better, what is best. We've talked about that before. For this price point, this is what I'm comfortable feeding our family at this point in time. This is their party size. So it is a larger size. It's 14.75 ounces. When you buy a pack of 3 of them from Azure, it's actually cheaper than buying individual bags, or if you're, it's actually cheaper than buying multiple ones of the regular 10-ounce size bags. So once again, with it being summer, we have lots of homemade salsas. We pretty much always have some form of cucumber, onion, tomato salad going in our fridge right now from the garden. And so we love having chips on hand just as a quick snack to kind of go along with those. And then we're going to go over here for a minute to where my grain mill, and I keep, this is my countertop grains that I have. I normally order my grains from Janie's Mill. We love Janie's Mill. We love supporting them. We know that family personally. But Janie's Mill does not offer hard white wheat. And so I have here a 25-pound bag of hard white wheat. We opened it so you can see inside. So something that you should always be checking for when you order from Azure, open your bags as soon as you bring them home. So when you're ordering this organic wheat, that means it has not been sprayed, meaning there could potentially be bugs on it or in it or eggs. So just a couple of tips. Open your bag when you bring it home and make sure that you are okay with the quality of the grain in that bag. Because if you do not contact them immediately upon receiving your bag, if you let that bag sit for a month, they are not going to refund your money. So you want to make sure that you check the quality. Second, Alex actually used to work at a grain elevator. And so just kind of tips and tricks that I've learned from him, you're going to be most concerned about weevils, which is a little bug, live ones, as well as eggs and grains that have not been sprayed. You can take this entire bag, stick it in your freezer. So what we're going to do, we're going to shut this bag and we're going to tape it up. and we will stick this entire 25-pound bag in our freezer for probably 2 to 3 days. You're trying to break the life cycle if there is any bugs or if there is any eggs, and that deep freeze temperature will do that. Then we're going to take it out. We're actually going to let it sit for a day. Then we're going to put it back in the freezer for another 2 to 3 days. And then once we take it out again, we should be good to go. I will then empty this into my food grade 5-gallon bucket. I will put my oxygen absorbers inside of that bucket, and I will screw on my gamma lid. You can buy all of these things from Azure. You can get them online at Amazon. My favorite place locally is to just go to Tractor Supply. They sell both your 5-gallon food grade buckets. I think they actually have 2 and 3 gallon as well, and they sell the gamma lids. And so we're going to dump this whole thing right in there. There's a little bit of a discrepancy. Some people say it will store for 20 to 25 years. Some people will say it will store for 40 years. I have never had any issues with grains going bad when I do that. And as you can see back here on my counter, this is just what I pull from every single day as I'm milling. So I have quick access to kamut, einkorn, hard red, hard white, soft red, soft white. Then I have some rolled oats from Azure right here. I have some of those quick oats that I showed you guys earlier. And then this is just some of our homemade granola for when we have yogurt. So my last tip for you is definitely request the Azure catalog when you're placing your order. So sometimes I get a chance to look at these, sometimes I don't, but I was flipping through their catalog and I found on page 33 this jovial einkorn chocolate chip cookie recipe. You can see I cut it out because I'm going to put this in our family recipe binder. And I knew that we had to make these cookies tonight. So from my last Azure order, I had some einkorn that I freshly milled and followed the recipe to a T. And guys, look at these. They made the absolute most delicious cookie. And Alex asked me, he was like, are we going to eat all of these? Are they healthy? So, I mean, they're einkorn cookies. So, yeah, they're healthy, right? That's what I like to say. They do have butter, they have sugar in them, they have chocolate chips, healthier versions of chocolate chips, but it's still a cookie. However, I think it's okay sometimes to have a special treat. And so I just loved that, I was flipping through the August sales flyer and I'm like, look at that recipe. That sounds great. And so we went ahead and made it tonight after dinner time. So definitely take a look at this. Some of the upcoming deals and products I was telling you about, the way that I know is either from social media or just from reading the catalog. So don't skip out on that catalog when it comes with your order. So thank you again for joining us today for our July 2025 Azure Standard Haul. Do not forget before you go to subscribe to our channel. That way you can get notified when we upload new videos if you're interested in more content like this. And don't forget to check the description box below where you will find all of the links for our Azure affiliate link, as well as the discount code if you are a first-time Azure Standard customer. And we'll also have the link to our Facebook page there. So if you want to follow along with just the day-to-day of what's going on our homestead, you can do that on Facebook.